Good day and welcome to this special edition of Spotlight called GM's Corner, a series of regular short conversations with LMOA's General Manager, Steve Hurwitz. And nice to join you again, Mr. General Manager. Good morning.
Good morning, Ron. Good to be back with you.
Well, thank you. Apparently we're getting some more specific information about the timeline for the pool, and why don't you bring us up to date on that if you would?
It's very exciting. Last day of normal operation of the pool was last night, and a little story at about, as the second hand was coming up to exactly 7 p.m. closing time, a family of 5 was standing hand in hand at the edge of the pool. The lifeguards were all grouped together, huddled, counting down, and at 1 second the family jumped in the pool, officially the last, and then it closed. There will be a doggy swim this evening. And for anybody who has not seen a doggy swim, it's worth coming over to see. After that, the contractor will come in, mobilize, and start getting ready to work the middle of the month, smack dab in the middle of September. We're not sure exactly which day, but he'll actually get to work, but he'll start coming in, which starts the contract work. And actually, we've done some preparatory work. Our maintenance department has prepared the site a little bit by removing some tree limbs that were going to block access for equipment, and also the new footprint for the pool. So with that, it's going to be, they're going to get in there and demolish the old pool and move dirt around and get ready to build a new pool. Our contract calls for final completion on May 1st of 2019. The good thing is we've got a running start on it, and that's very important at the end of the process to being done on time. So May 1st it is, or bust.
Well, hoping for a cooperative winter, shall we say?
That will be a factor, no question. And that's why getting started now is important, getting a lot of that work done to maximize the work that can be done during reliably good weather. And I understand that Judy Fish and Lakeviews are planning extensive coverage of this shortly as information to the community. Yes, indeed. We'll be putting out a lot of information and complete coverage, photographic and description of what's going on and the timeline through the various means. And I look forward to visiting with you and letting you know how it's going too. We think it's very important. It's a big deal for the community. Oh, yeah. The pool is an important aspect of life at the community, in the community, and a lot of people are very interested. In fact, we had a great meeting with representatives of the swim team just last week, and we covered a lot of details, very important for making the swim meets the best swim meets possible. The new pool will accommodate the meets, but still there was some fine-tuning to do. Nothing expensive, no changes in the contract, but things that if we get right at the beginning are going to be right for a long time. So we're grateful for those folks for coming in and telling us about what needed to be done for their practices, which are very important, and for the home meets, where we kind of host the world. The world comes to Lake Monticello, and we want to do the best job possible.
Oh yeah, it's a very interactive league, and it's lots of fun and great opportunities for a lot of kids.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Well, sticking with water, we're apparently still dealing with the aftermath of that deluge a little over 2 weeks ago. Well, we had the huge sinkhole over at Lafayette.
Yes.
Yeah, that's gotten fixed up, has it?
The sinkhole is all buttoned up, which was a tremendous effort. We had to go through a number of steps, including protecting the site. It could have been dangerous, but we were alerted to it very quickly and got out there and cordoned it off. And then we had to do an analysis because it exposed pipes, cables, and so forth. So we had to coordinate with all the agencies to see what was live and not live, what needed to be restored, if anything. As far as we can tell, no services of any kind were cut to any of the nearby homes. So that was a good thing. But then because the sinkhole had occurred there, we couldn't just throw dirt in on it. It had to be studied and analyzed about how to make sure that that site was really secure. So maintenance came up with a really detailed plan to fill in a special kind of concrete to support the heavy pipes that ran through there, particularly the drain pipe that ran under that site that was indeed the cause of the collapse in the first place.
Oh, I see.
So after that study and analysis and then work, it was all buttoned up in pretty short time. We very much appreciate the entire neighborhood's cooperation. We had some visitors out there asking us what was going on in a good-natured way. You know, we're standing there at a 12-foot hole saying, what happened?
Yeah.
And it was a curious case.
Yeah.
An awful lot of water goes under there, and that turned out to be the cause. It undermined, and then to an extent that the pipe apparently had some holes in it, and it created a suction, so that when the site collapsed, a mailbox that was up above got pulled down with such force that it smashed down and into the drain pipe, very big drain pipe, that had to be completely replaced. So with that, it was necessary to make sure that the replacement pipe was properly designed and engineered and coupled at both ends, and then also, well, coupled at one end, I should say, and also that it was properly supported, so it would be stable, and so that wouldn't happen again. I'm glad to report that's been done, and we're not looking for any more sinkholes anytime soon. I would say definitely never at that site.
Yeah, well, new specs for drainage pipes to withstand dropping mailboxes, which no one ever thought of.
An incredible site.
Yeah.
Actually smashed down into and through the pipe.
Yeah. How about you had mentioned impact on some playgrounds and again the fierceness of the water washing mulch away and the like.
Well, it's useful to know that rain, one person recorded 7 inches of rain in a little more than 2 hours. Officially, it really depended where you were, but officially it was a little more than 4 inches. That made it, by some estimation, the 1,000-year rain, which really doesn't matter because it happened.
Yeah.
So amongst the various effects, many lots got water on them that would not. Normally the ditches, the drainage ditches in front of many lots, and the culverts and so forth would handle it, but obviously not in this case. So one of the effects was there was so much water with such force that it washed away a lot of the mulch in the playgrounds. Normally, that would be an immediate concern that we would address, and maintenance had it on the list to do, including adding more mulch. Unfortunately, they were tied up with the sinkhole for a number of days, but as soon as they got free, they were able to go out to the playgrounds and replace the mulch. And the reason that's very important for everyone to know about, certainly anybody with children or anybody who finds themselves in the playgrounds, we would very much appreciate them letting us know anytime they see anything. It's a good assumption that we've caught it and we're going to fix it or repair it or add mulch or rake mulch back into place. That's a good assumption. But on the other hand, we just as soon hear from people in case we haven't caught it. In this case, it took more than 24 hours to get out to the site. The particular site of concern that an owner resident that is called and let us know about, and we went out, and indeed the mulch had washed away from the fall zones near the equipment. We were notified late on a Friday into Saturday morning, and I'm very pleased to report that by the end of the day Saturday, every piece of equipment had been checked. The actual playground equipment itself had been checked, that it was tight, installed properly, no protruding screws or bolts. That's an important part of what we're talking about too. But it also became apparent that we needed to get crews out there. It was not a matter of just raking up one spot. So by Monday morning at 7 o'clock, the crews were starting in each of the 3 playgrounds, adding mulch and raking the mulch that had been pushed aside by the water. But again, we encourage people to let us know whenever they see anything like that. A lot of people take the opportunity to let Judy Fish know about things by email. Judy is available all the time, and I will say this, Judy sometimes gets messages that we think are important enough that she relays them to the staff in the evening, in the middle of the night if need be, and if something involves safety or anything that important, we get on it as soon as we can. Certainly anything involving a playground would fit into that category. So again, people have my encouragement to let us know, and we'd be glad to get after it as soon as humanly possible.
All right. Well, that's good advice. Good advice. Something a little happier, also a little more benign on water is a new irrigation system at Ashlawn Clubhouse, courtesy, financed, and arranged by the LMOA Beautification Corps, I understand.
This is a wonderful story. The Beautification Corps, whose service to this community seems limitless to me, has done yet another great thing in addition to all their work every Monday. They designed, engaged professional contractors, and found funding to put an irrigation system in so that the grass and plantings around Ashlawn receives the benefit of irrigation. Previously, what they've been doing is dragging around hoses and sprinklers, which is a very irregular way to try to do it. And that really is the calling card to the community. So many visitors come to functions there. Our own families have functions, great family events there. So it's a major location for us. And this is going to really help make the grass and all the plantings really sparkle and look great.
Yeah.
The director of our maintenance operation, Tom Schauder, likes to say the goal is resort ready. We want to look like a resort.
Well, they've done a wonderful job in redoing the entire front of the clubhouse, and it does look great. So I'm sure this is only going to improve on that. And we have a new event coming up here at the lake on Friday evening, also at Ashlawn, beginning at 7, a teen night. Hey, how about that? Co-sponsored by Fluvanna County Parks and Recreation. How did all this come about?
Well, it's a very exciting story. We contacted county parks, and they came out and said, you know, a great share of the population of the county lives at the lake. You know, whether the number is 42% or 43, I'm not sure exactly, but
in that area.
But not only that, but it's concentrated, as opposed to the rest of the county where the population is quite spread out. So in any case, they, in total good faith and a sense of cooperation, said that they'd like to try some events here, and the first one is a teen dance. I think that's especially appropriate. We do have thousands of children living here of all ages. We've got maybe 2,500 children in Fluvanna County schools, for example. So if you take the group that might be ready for a teen dance, you know, not too young, not too old, but they're ready for an event like that, we think there's many of them. And so we're looking forward very much to the event this Friday, starting at 7 o'clock, running to 10. And the fun for my wife and I is we get to be there and kind of be the principal and spouse.
Okay,
not supervising, but we get to be there and make sure it starts in the best possible way and that it's a successful event. So,
and you refer to it as a dance. So, is there going to be? Well, this is going to be a DJ.
There'll be a DJ.
Okay.
And we'll be very interested to see what kind of dancing there is and so forth. I'm sure it'll be great. Something that teenagers can do. It causes me to remember my teenage days.
Oh, yeah.
And before going up and asking someone to dance, kind of rehearsing the steps up against the little steps up against the wall. We'll see how the modern generation does.
Yeah, it is. Are now Lake Monticello teens only? This is or
no, there could be teens from the community.
There can be.
And that would be fine, yes.
So they're advertising, the county's advertising?
Yes, it's on the county schedule of activities that they published and distributed.
I see.
So we'll look forward to that. That would be wonderful.
Okay. I guess people coming or driving are just going to have to say, I'm going to the dance to get through, again, through the gates, etc.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'll all be arranged. And a little plug for our front gate staff.
Okay.
That job is harder than anybody knows.
Yeah.
And they deal with this kind of event, private events, golfers. In fact, we'll be starting, there's a system for golfers to get a code to punch in at the slice gate so they can come in and get to the golf pro shop and start a round of golf. We're getting ready to start the very same thing for the pub.
Oh,
So people who'd like to come in and eat at the pub or just enjoy the pub can do that too. And that really only works, all of that works because of the great people at the front gate. Because no matter what we set up, there are always questions. And they do a great job answering those questions and expediting people's guests, people coming in to use the golf course, soon the pub too, and in this case, anybody coming to the dance. So we really depend on them, and they do a great job.
Yeah, yeah, well, that is, and it's, and it can get very busy over there. There's no question. They're dealing with an awful lot of things. People from non-residents and commercial coming in, and all kinds of questions there and the like. So, yeah, it's good. It's an important function. So
you would not believe the traffic there. On the average work week, Monday through Friday, there are somewhere around 500 commercial vehicles entering. And that is awesome to conceive of, as well as all the residents, visitors, and so forth. So
yeah,
they do a really great job.
Yeah, well, that's all on the good side. That's all plus side, and it'll be an interesting event for the teens, and maybe the start of something real good in that direction. Certainly, would.
Looking forward to a great event.
Yeah. Anything further this week?
Well, just that we're in the middle of interviewing for a replacement for our F&B director.
Yes.
And we've got just a huge pile of qualified applicants. We're very pleased. We'll be completing interviews this Wednesday and selecting a replacement soon thereafter. We're looking forward to that. In the meantime, Nikki, everybody's friend Nikki, everybody who comes into either of the two facilities knows Nikki. And she's doing a great job in the meantime. And we will look forward to seeing, who there is to help us to the next level. The community's been very kind about letting us know their thoughts with these new facilities, kind of starting up from ground zero with new facilities, new menus, new staff, new everything really. And there have been many successes and a few things giving us pause for thought. And the board has promised to evaluate the whole situation after a full year of operation.
Yeah.
In the meantime, the staff is doing that very same thing. So I'm very pleased to be able to say, for example, one thing we heard very often was, can we evaluate the room rental as it relates to private functions?
Yes.
And the volume that people might be bringing in terms of food sales. And we're doing that. Very pleased to be able to do that. And a lot of people asked us to. And that's a good thing. So we're looking forward to as many people as possible enjoying their facility right here at the pub and at Ashlawn too.
Okay. Well, all right. We'll we'll be all obviously very interested in the successful outcome of a successor to Robert White, who was really turning the corner with the food operation. So at any rate, we'll be happy to hear about that as maybe next time, perhaps this will be concluded and ready to go.
We will.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. We appreciate it. You have been watching GM's Corner here on Spotlight, this series of conversations with LMOA General Manager Steve Hurwitz about what is on his desk and on his mind. We hope you'll join us again for more Spotlights and also the full range of broadcast group programming here on Comcast Channel 977 and also up on YouTube. So till next time, for the broadcast group, I'm Ron Krause. Thanks very much for watching, and good day.
Good day.